Okay, so back to this question. Am I concerned about the inequality that Bitcoin is going to lead to? So the people who are in Bitcoin right now are going to benefit the most, regardless of how much value they actually add to the world. The cool thing is that whatever Bitcoin amount you have today, let's say that you have half a Bitcoin today. And the reason why you have that half a Bitcoin is because you added enough value to the world, probably, or your parents did if you got some sort of inheritance, but somebody in your family added enough value to get value in return. And you took the time to study Bitcoin, to learn, to figure out how to do it, to buy it, to send it to your cold storage. You put in the work, and now you have that. That's your reward for being here today. Regardless of how much value you add into the future, you're still going to have that Bitcoin. You're still going to benefit from this protocol, this revolution, this paradigm shift. If you stop adding value to the world, your sats are going to go down and down and down. So you will probably, depending on how much you have, you will probably run out, maybe. But the cool thing is that as those sats fall from 0.5 of a Bitcoin or 50 million sats to 49 million sats to 48 million sats, the purchasing power of those sats is going to go up over time. So that's your benefit for being here today. But the people who are coming in the future are still going to benefit from Bitcoin. Even though they don't have any today, they might not have any for the next 10 years, but they're still going to benefit from Bitcoin. And the reason for that is because the reason why the fiat system is so corrupt is because people can print money. When you give humans the ability to create money without actually adding value, without actual proof of work, that's a problem. And that's how they're allowed to extract value from the world without actually adding value to the world. And that's not natural. That's not nature. And we're going to talk about two different people who are sharing the same message. This is the message that I've been trying to share for the last couple of years here on the show, which is the amount of value that you add to the world, that's what you get back. And you cannot break that law. It's been broken for 111 years, ever since the Federal Reserve was created back in 1913. That law of the universe has been broken. And that's why society is broken right now. So the inequality here, though, if you look at how much money you have in your bank account today, let's say you got $5,000, and you compare that to Elon Musk, how much money he has in his bank account. Hey, look who it is. Hi, buddy. So big exhale here. Like it was such a hard task coming over for work today, Arn. But anyways, so you look at the spread there, $5,000 in your bank account versus how much Elon, apparently the richest person on the planet, how much wealth he has, how much cash. There's a huge spread there. If you took your $5,000 divided by his billions of dollars, there's a huge spread there. But if you take the amount of sats that you have versus Elon Musk or the let's say Max Kaiser, that gap from like an average person to the wealthiest person is much smaller in sats. And you also take away the ability for them to print more of it. So it's more equal right off the top. The world isn't meant to be equal, though. It's meant to, in a free market, the people who add the most value to the world are the ones who are rewarded most for it. But it's still, even with that in mind, it still closes the gap on the wealth inequality. But Bitcoin doesn't solve that. Bitcoin just takes the ability for people to create money away from them. So let's watch two different things here. I got two different videos that I would like to share. And they both have kind of the same message. One is through a Bitcoin lens. One is from like 75 years ago. It's the same kind of thing. So let me bring this up for you. Sent. And the funny thing is that when I was listening to this yesterday, I was cutting the grass and I was listening to this show. And I heard Jack say this. And I was like, because on Nostr, Jack clips usually part of his show. He clips it and puts it onto Nostr with some editing there. And as soon as he said that, as soon as he got through this part, I was like, that's going to be the part that he clips and puts on Nostr. I guarantee it. And it was. So here it is. This is the clip from Jack yesterday. It's 2 minutes long, but it's right in line with what we're talking about here. So without further ado, Here's the modern day version to start with, and then we'll take a look at the one from 75 years ago.
Is more Bitcoin. The only thing better than Bitcoin is more Bitcoin. I'm going to share some things that are important by going all in on Bitcoin. Like, for one, do not exceed your means. If you live a lifestyle that is reliant on Bitcoin being a specific price, that's a problem. Now, obviously, you can, at a later date when you're comfortable, sell some Bitcoin, buy a house or something. But do not mistake in a bull run as the value you provided to the world. It can correct. And so live within your means. Do not spend more than you make. Be humble, stack sats means don't force Bitcoin to afford your lifestyle. Your work and value you provide to the world should afford your lifestyle. Do not confuse and conflate the two. And so I do not spend more than I make. And in that way, I feel it's very responsible of me because I am only bounded to consume from the world as much as the value I create for others. People are so funny. They say, man, I want more money. I say, do you actually? I can give you advice. Oh, would you, Jack? I would love some advice. Sure, I'll give you some advice. If you want more money, either be more valuable or consume less shit. Or what do you mean? What about, an insider opportunity or like a sneaky trade? Like, don't you got a shortcut for me? No, I don't have a shortcut for you. No one should theoretically be allowed at scale in perpetuity to consume from the world any more than the value they're creating.
Okay, this is the most important part. So you see the faces up there, right? I saw Hillary Clinton, I see George Bush, but these are the people who have been able to extract value from the world without actually adding value to the world. And that, again, is not natural. That is not nature. That is not free markets. And so in that system, that's why everything is the way it is today, because these people like Bush, like Hillary, like many others, were able to extract value from the average person, extract value from the system without actually adding any value to that system. That's a problem.
No, I don't have a shortcut for you. No one should theoretically be allowed at scale in perpetuity to consume from the world any more than the value they're creating for the world. You should only be allowed the lifestyle in proportion to the value you create for others. And this ridiculous, disgusting fiat system has somehow robbed society of that check and balance. There are no consequences for providing no value, but extracting all the value. You should think for yourself and just be rational. Owning as much Bitcoin as possible is really not that complicated. You work, you consume less than the value you create, you take the excess, you buy Bitcoin. You want more Bitcoin? Consume less. Sorry, nobody said it was going to be easy. I said it was going to be worth it. If you want more money, be more valuable to those around you or consume less shit. The only thing better than Bitcoin.
Yep. Perfect. Perfectly said. Perfectly worded. And we're going to jump over right to this next part here, which is some wisdom. This is a good life hack. I mean, take guys like Jack Mallers, at face value, take it with a grain of salt, because, young guy, this world obviously is very successful, but the knowledge that you really want to focus on, and that's why I like Jack, because he talks about these same principles, but the knowledge that you and the wisdom that you really want to focus it on is stuff that's been around for a very long time, not hacks on TikTok. I mean, TikTok's great for recipes and stuff like that, but like there is no hacks in life. This is the rule of the universe, the law of the universe, from our guy here, Earl Nightingale. So I'm only going to play about a minute of this or less, but he's pretty much saying the exact same thing as Jack 75 years ago.
Through mirror. Stare at it as you brush your teeth in the morning, and stare at it again as you prepare for bed at night. Go over each item, and as you do, think of what each item represents. Now here's number one. It's the formula for getting rich. It also explains why you're in your present position, whether you're earning $6,000 a year or $16,000 or $60,000 or $600,000. It applies to every adult, whether he's employed or unemployed. It applies to the richest man and to the poorest and every person in between. And here it is. Our rewards in life will always be in exact proportion to our contribution, our service. Now that's what the formula means as the first item on your checklist. Memorize it. Our rewards in life will always be in exact proportion to our contribution, our service. Listen to it, think about it until you know it emotionally as well as intellectually. It might give you some slight feeling of superiority to realize that there's probably not another man within a mile of where you live who knows it. You can add it as a question on your survey if you want proof of that. If you want it in another form, here it is as it applies to a man's job. It's the same thing really, the same thing applies, but you can express it differently. The money you're paid by the company you work for will always be in direct ratio to the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the degree of difficulty involved in replacing you. Maybe you want to write the formula down in both of its forms and think about it until it's as much a part of you as your name. The reason it isn't spelled out on your checklist is because you might not want everyone to know what you're up to. The checklist is valuable only to a person who knows what the words really indicate. All right, you've got the formula. As you think about it, its meaning will become clearer to you. With the formula, there are 2 rules which must be applied to properly use it. This formula, together with the 2 rules, is your recipe or your roadmap to earning all the money you really want. Now let's take a look at item number 2 on your checklist. And I'm serious about your putting this checklist on your mirror. You'll notice it's pressure sensitive. Item number 2, the gold mine. The Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright Archibald MacLeish in his play The Secret of Freedom wrote,
Okay, there's more gold in there from Earl, and you guys and girls can check that out if you want to. I would strongly suggest taking some time out of your day today and listening to this. When I started listening to Earl, when I started taking this stuff a little bit more seriously, that's when everything changed in my life. And so again, I just shared that clip for everybody in YouTube. I should add it to the Zap stream as well, and Rumble, I guess I should. But the point there, what he's saying, he said the exact same thing as Jack, just worded a little bit differently. But he said that the rewards you receive in life are always in direct correlation to your contributions or to the value that you add to this world. That's it. That's a law of the universe that cannot be broken. It cannot be cheated. It cannot be shortcutted. You know, unless you have the license to print money, like the Federal Reserve, then you can shortcut it. You can create as much money as you want to without actually adding any value to the world. You can be a politician and earn hundreds of thousands every year for not adding any sort of value to the world. And that can go on for a while, just like a lot of things. It can go on for a while, but eventually it comes to an end. And that's what we're living through right now. We're going to go, we're moving into a shift here, I think, over these next couple of decades, where people are going to realize the difference between a fake asset or something that you can create as much as you want to, a fake asset, something that can be created infinitively. Infinitive? I don't know the word there. Infinitively, we'll say that. And real assets, which you cannot create more of, regardless of how much demand there is, you cannot create more of those assets. So pretty much how I look at this is you have the real assets, which is Bitcoin, time, your time here on Earth, land, scarce oceanfront property, good farmland, and gold-ish. Gold would be somewhere on there. Gold, I would say, is a real asset. It's a hard asset, but it doesn't have the same characteristics and qualities as Bitcoin does. And then I would say everything else is fake. We're also going to see, we're going to see a shift from people who are able to cheat the system and extract value without actually adding value to a world where, unless you're actually adding value, you're going to get zero. I shouldn't say that. Hopefully, in the world that I see anyways playing out here, because we're going to have so much abundance, there's going to be enough roofs over heads. Everybody's going to have a roof over their head, regardless if you work or not. And you're going to have enough food in your stomach, regardless of if you work or not. I think that those two things are human rights because we have so many resources on this planet. But anything in excess of that is going to require you to actually add value or have value accrued that you can actually take into the future with you, which is Bitcoin. So those are the two things that I see coming over these next couple decades. And it's going to be a big shift, and it's going to rock a lot of people's worlds, because there's going to be a lot of people who are holding a lot of fake assets, and there's going to be a lot of people who are extracting from the system in, let's say, a government job, that are no longer going to have that anymore. Or just a lot of jobs in general. If you're, if you go to work every day and you're like, man, this is so boring, I'm not even doing anything. Well, unfortunately, you're going to be replaced. That's all there is to it. And it might take a month, it might take a year, it might take a couple years. But again, if you go to work and you have that feeling inside of you that you're bored, you're not really doing anything, you're not really adding value, then you are going to be replaced. You're not going to make it to the world that we're moving into. Tough to hear, I'm thinking, but reality nonetheless. So take that seriously. And as Earl said there, write that down. And write it down, because it becomes real and you're actually going to feel it. And when you feel it, you're going to start taking steps every single day to add as much value as you can, because you know that that's right. You know that that's reality, and you know that that's coming. Pretty good stuff there from Jack and Earl. Pretty good stuff there.